We're Paideia's green team. Unfortunately, we are missing one of our presidents because she's not here today. But we decided to do this project because we wanted to help improve the transportation at our school and decrease pollution. So we weren't entirely sure yet what we needed to do to improve the transportation, and so we started out by taking a survey of the entire high school.
Yeah, we really wanted to identify areas that would allow us to improve during our efforts. So the first step was the survey, and from that we got a lot of valuable information. We found that 37% of students live more than 5 miles away from school, which can make certain methods such as walking or biking more difficult. And we also found that an overwhelming 90% of students get here by car every day.
But we did find that 12.6% of people lived 1 mile or less from school, which left a lot of room for people who could walk or bike, and 33% lived 1 to 3 miles from school. And as well as most people taking a car to school, 10.9% walked, 4.7% biked, and 1.9% took the bus.
So from those results, we identified that we really needed to be looking at efforts for people who live farther away and also people who live within a walking distance. So those were our two main focuses.
When we asked if we provided a safe route for you to walk or bike to school and or suggested people you could walk or bike with, would you do it if you live close enough? And 48.5% said yes, so we thought it was a pretty good number.
So having gathered these initial results, we decided to further define our efforts, what they were going to be during our Save to Save week, as we called it. And so we concentrated our efforts on improving people's access to walking routes and biking routes. And then we also encouraged carpooling. We did that in a number of ways.
So our goal was to have, like I said, at least 60% of people carpooling every day of the people who live too far away to walk or bike. And we wanted 75% of people who live close enough to walk or bike. So the way we decided to improve people's transportation, our primary project, was to have a week where we would encourage people to get to school in green ways, such as walking, biking, carpooling, or public transportation. And we would reward them by giving them breakfast if they did come to school in a greener way. So we had this week in the month of March, and leading up to it, we first of all, in order to decrease the amount that people had to carry, we got a list from one of the faculty members of the high school of all the textbooks and which ones had ebooks available. And we posted this list on an online forum and announced to the whole high school that it was there so that they could look and find if their books were available online.
So the next thing we did is we wanted to encourage people to use public transportation more. It was available, but a lot of people seemed not to know how to use it. So we studied the MARTA maps and posted the maps onto our online community bulletin board so that people could look for themselves and see if they lived near a MARTA stop.
We also wanted to encourage carpooling, and a lot of people said that they weren't sure how to find people to carpool with. So we wanted to provide them with a list of people who live nearby them. So we had a database of zip codes so people could easily identify potential carpool families.
And then we also got a big map of the area around our school that had a circle around it that was a 1 mile radius. And we posted it in the comments so that people could see how far they lived from school and see how easy it would be for them to walk and find routes that they could walk or bike to school.
And then another step that we took was just to publicize the event. So we had a lot of promotional posters. We made announcements to the group, to our entire high school, and we just wanted to make sure that people knew that this was going on and why it was important to work on improving their methods of transportation.
And we had the school newspaper put a little blurb in the newspaper about the event. We also contacted the online newsletter ePie and the newsletter that goes out in the mail to all the parents, because we wanted to make sure that parents knew about it if they were driving their kids, and that they would know to carpool or to turn their engines off during carpool so as not to idle. So then we had the actual event, which we had announced a lot at our high school meetings. So we had the first day, we had a big poster that had a picture of a bus, a bike, a foot, and a car, where people could tally if they had taken public transportation, biked, walked, or carpooled. And so I stood out there and asked everyone who passed me to tally which one they had done. And so not only did that help us see, how many people were actually participating, it also helped remind people that this was going on.
And then later in the week, we also wanted to reward those people who would work on improving their method of transportation. So we hosted a breakfast for anyone who had walked, biked, or carpooled.
And we did that on Wednesday, so we had, we got from Costco a bunch of donuts, mini bagels, and cream cheese and orange juice, and people really liked that. And we had people put their tallies in order to get food. And we ended up having a lot of food left over, so we also provided it on Thursday and Friday as well. And I think it went really well. A lot of people participated. A lot of people were already carpooling, and so we're happy to have a reward for doing that. And I think it raised a lot of awareness about improving your transportation.
So the next step after the actual event was to sort of try and quantify what we had done and how this week had helped improve campus methods of transportation. So to that effect, we sent out another survey, and we asked people if they improved their transportation methods, how they were getting to school, and whether they would continue to improve.
So our first question, we said, did you improve your transportation as part of Save to Save Week? 13.3% said yes, 32.5% said no, and 54.2% said it wasn't possible for them to improve their transportation any further, which means that they were probably already carpooling with as many people as they could, or they were already walking or already biking, or they didn't live near anyone who they could carpool with and lived too far to walk. So then we asked, how did they get to school during Save to Save Week? 55.4% said they carpooled, 3.6% said they biked, 7.2% said they walked, 2.4% said they took public transportation, and 31.3% said they drove but did not carpool. So the majority of people were taking green methods of transportation, while a minority were not. And our last question was, do you plan to continue your efforts to improve your transportation? Because we wanted to make sure that people weren't just doing it for this week to get food, but were actually going to continue their efforts to improve. So 18.3% of people, which was a pretty large amount, I thought, said that they will continue getting to school in the greener way that they did during Save to Save Week. 23.2% said that although they did not improve their transportation for Save to Save Week, they plan to make efforts to improve in the future. So we thought that was a really effective result of our project, that even people who hadn't participated were now thinking about improving in the future. Only 2.4% said that although they had improved their transportation for Save to Save Week, they were going back to their previous method of transportation. And 15.9% said that they did not improve their transportation and they don't plan to in the future. Unfortunately, those are people who we can't really change. They're pretty much against improving in any way, unfortunately. And 40.2% said it was and is not possible for me to improve any further.
So overall, we found that between that 40% who could not improve and another 40% who are willing to improve in the future, we found that a lot of our school is getting here in a very green way, and we were very pleased with that result.
Yeah, so we were very happy with our project, and pretty glad about the effects that we think we had on the school. Thank you.